Salut à tous, c'est X-Time, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve pour la suite de notre aventure de The Raven à bord du train de l'Orient Express. Alors, on avait parlé la dernière fois à la baronne derrière cette porte, donc on va aller voir ce qu'il y a au fond maintenant.
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable.
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my...
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your detective part 2 is my
Then I have...
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again.
I see. As a writer, you must be very observant, am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were...
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward...
He seems pretty young.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him, just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course. Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed.
I know him by name. David Croydon.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem, no matter how much...
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor or the Baron?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the Raven?
I wouldn't quite...
Well, shot. Why don't...
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
There's something else. A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now. As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right. I did observe you as you came. You seemed so... eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam. I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
Ok, on vient donc de rencontrer Lady Westmacott, donc ici même, qui était écrivain et donc l'auteur du livre préféré de Zellner, et qui est maintenant reconverti dans l'archéologie. Et en face d'elle, donc, c'est Mrs. Miller, apparemment la mère du petit rouquin. Et on va lui parler, on ne lui a pas encore parlé.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott, but she does seem a little nervous. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And...
Ouais, alors, on va lui parler maintenant.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
The little boy, Matt, he's your son?
Oh, yes. Has he done something?
I've already met him. Clever little fellow.
If only someone could just drive the mischief out of him.
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused.
She's always got an awful lot to do, my Mary.
You have to tell me if that's not all right with you.
Good Lord, child.
So, nothing up.
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Bon, on n'a pas appris grand chose de plus. Hein. Alors là, j'ai vu, ouais, on pouvait mettre quelque
The
chose.
steward must have forgotten the toothpicks.
Des cure-dents. On va prendre ça. Et je pense qu'il n'y a rien d'autre à faire dans cette pièce à part retourner en arrière. Alors on va aller voir là-bas, au bar. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a pour... Là, c'est pour aller vers le bar.
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Maybe if I just suck it.
Ok, on va prendre des friandises. Voilà. Sûrement pour donner aux gosses après. On va aller vers le bar.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a là?
A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
Ok, ça sert à rien. Alors, les ciseaux.
The steward probably uses the scissors on how to open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague read
On peut pas les prendre.
the pad on which the steward writes orders. And I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
Ok, je peux prendre le crayon.
I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them.
Alors, qu'est-ce que je peux faire avec mon crayon sur le papier, c'est ça?
When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch.
D'accord, on a fait de la poudre de crayon pour voir des empreintes. Bon, voilà le tiroir.
Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked.
Voilà, c'était sûr, le tiroir fermé. Bon, plus rien d'autre à faire ici. On va retourner derrière. Et on va aller parler à ce petit bonhomme.
Ah, Mr.
Zellner,
Right, right. How can I...
tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or...
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both had...
I do indeed have a theory, but...
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make...
Indeed. Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were in...
Well, it seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
May I borrow your newspaper?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön. There's something else. Do you know where the
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He is not here doing his job.
I meant to ask, the Baroness is missing her purse.
A baronet? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well. Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady West?
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have...
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat.
Ok, on va voir le journal qu'il nous a donné.
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of two priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Not really anything new. One of the two eyes of the Sphinx, a ruby that's nearly 4,000 years old. The burglar was surprised, but managed to escape. That's the official story. But it says nothing about... A story about an incredible feat. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, the most expensive movie ever. John Surtees won the Formula One World, making him the only man in... Too loud. Luna's a
Ok, j'étais vite sur les derniers parce qu'ils servent à rien, je pense. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a appris? Je pense qu'on a appris qu'il y avait un coffre-fort à bord du train, si c'est bien ce que ça voulait dire. Que l'œil du Sphinx, c'est le rubis qu'on voit dans la vidéo de départ, donc qui a été volé par le corbeau. Qu'apparemment, il y en a un au Caire, si je me trompe pas. Donc, il y en a deux en tout, voire peut-être trois, je sais pas. Et je pense que c'est tout ce qu'il nous a appris, lui. On va aller voir de l'autre côté, ce qu'il nous attend. Alors...
The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be the wind tunnel.
Ouais, on peut pas passer par là, on va se prendre un tunnel dans les dents si on monte par le toit. Là, il y a un petit coffre.
A box with a... I suppose it contains, at any rate, its position.
Alors, il y a l'air d'y avoir un cadenas, on peut pas l'ouvrir, je crois.
Locked.
Voilà.
Bang! Bang! Don't move!
Matt, have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, yes, sure. Now,
Oh, man.
Il est con ce gosse, il a failli me faire tomber.
I strongly suspect that the door is locked.
On va voir là-dedans.
No, it's open. Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the Yard. This is the revered Constable Zeln of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
Then I was right.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that someone recently...
And how would I bait my trap?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo?
Someone has done his homework.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss police...
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him.
Locked him out.
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner. Be my... Report back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur. Constable Robert Oliver. Is it possible that I read your name in the newspaper?
Ah, could be, sir. Could very well.
Robert was there when the first eye of the Sphinx was stolen.
Well, sir.
Scotland Yard gave him a commendation and assigned it to me as a liaison.
A great honor, sir.
Baroness von Trebitz told me that she's missing her.
Baroness von Trebitz. Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
But it has nothing to do with our case.
So I shouldn't concern myself with the matter.
Ah, why not? It's your job as a policeman. But don't expect me to be particularly interested.
What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Rob, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or,
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
monsieur,
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable,
Yes?
don't bother us unless you have...
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too...
Exactement. Knock twice.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of the Grand that takes me one step. If I can convince...
Alors on va enquêter ce qu'il y a dans le train pour ces deux Gugus. Je sais pas si vous pensez comme moi, mais l'inspecteur Legrand, on dirait le sosie de la rue. Sérieux. Bon, alors, on a bien le coffre-fort dans le train qui contient un rubis, si j'ai bien compris. On va retourner par là. Là, il n'y a plus rien à faire, je pense que ça sert plus à rien de lui parler à lui. Là, je peux toujours pas ouvrir le tiroir derrière.
Oh, Constable?
Yes, ma'am.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous... The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. Maddie is a very lively child.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask? Ah, I understand.
Could you, leave Maddie's pistol here, perhaps?
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get...
Very well.
Alors, il a balancé que le gosse a failli le faire tomber. Donc on lui a confisqué son pistolet. Et ce pauvre petit rouquin avait perdu son père. Enfin, son père est parti. Il a quitté sa femme. Alors, on va retourner par là. Toi, je peux toujours pas t'aider, mec. Hein. Je sais pas comment ouvrir ta porte. On va retourner au début. On va voir si le gosse, il est là. Ouais. Et il y avait le livre aussi que je voulais prendre. On doit sûrement le montrer à Lady Westmacott.
Should I
Voilà,
ask
pour un
for an
autographe.
autograph? That would be quite unprofessional.
Voilà, on prendra une petite signature, on va parler au gosse.
Hello, Matt. Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mom.
Oh man, couldn't you have just raked me over the coal?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Ok, alors il me fait la tête. Donc je crois que c'est le moment de lui donner des sucreries pour qu'il m'apprenne ce qu'il sait.
Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just for...
If I'm faster than you...
Hey!
Friends again?
Mm-hmm.
All right then. And No dangerous nonsense. And
Okay.
your mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you... But the lady's really a bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
And how long has your mother worked for the lady? And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him. I was 7.
You and your mother.
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at...
I imagine that's not...
No, it's fine. You always have to be so quiet in the ladies' house.
So...
You said it.
Bon, je passe un peu les moments où il nous parle de sa vie, hein, parce que ça n'a pas trop rapport avec l'histoire.
How old are you, Matt?
In 8 months?
And do you already know what you want to be when you...
No, we'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, you need a lot of talent for... I'm an actor in a theater.
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in... I get really deep into my... I don't just talk like the character. I think like him. Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things to be an actor.
That... disturbing, but not... The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her perk. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever?
Hmm?
That guy over there with the violin case?
What about...
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure...
But you saw him.
Uh-huh.
Did you also see what it was?
Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been the Baroness's purse.
I should look into it, shouldn't I?
I think so.
Tell me, have you seen the steward anywhere?
No. He was walking around a little while ago, though.
Hopefully they didn't forget him in Zurich.
What's he supposed to do?
I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like the Raven?
Perhaps. But I need a piece of wire.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins. She doesn't like the wind messing up her hair.
So long.
So longer.
Bon, mis à part sa vie, on a appris que sa mère a une pince à cheveux qui pourrait nous aider à ouvrir le tiroir derrière le bar. Alors on va retourner lui parler. Là.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins.
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story.
Well, if you really...
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Voilà, on va pouvoir aller ouvrir notre petit tiroir. Alors, là.
And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Oops. Batteries, a toothbrush, a shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one.
Ok, on a une petite clé qui doit être la clé pour ouvrir le cadenas dans le coffre derrière. Alors, la petite clé, elle est ici. Voilà.
That's it. There we go. This should help.
On va retourner là-bas. Allez. Qu'est-ce que j'ai eu? J'ai pas eu la clé. D'accord, j'ai eu une pince. Donc sûrement pour crocheter le verrou de la porte du professeur en archéologie. Donc on va retourner le voir. Voilà, tu viens ouvrir ta petite chambre mon coco. Alors la pince, là.
I bet I could really get a grip on the boat with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ça c'est malin.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Yes. Fine.
Bon, et lui apparemment il nous cache des choses, on a dû lui piquer un truc dans sa sacoche et le voleur est donc passé par la fenêtre.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe...
You can't possibly believe that.
Well then, what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand,
Who? And where have they gone?
they could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor. So, what are you hiding in your bag?
No. Nothing.
No, that...
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment.
That's...
You play... I like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Il nous mitonne lui. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a là?
Wow. That's a very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last...
Ok, c'est rien de passionnant. Là-dedans, il y a quoi?
Professor is hiding from me, but I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent.
Ok, rien non plus.
The Bible, Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick.
Rien d'intéressant non plus.
No, nothing interesting.
Voilà, c'est lui-même qui le dit. Et à la fenêtre alors.
Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone?
Alors, donc c'est là qu'il faut reprendre ça, je crois.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to make what I suspect are fingerprints visible.
And? Found anything?
Unfortunately, no. There are only a couple of fingerprints on the window. It was probably cleaned before departure, but the prints I can see look like glove marks.
Well, wouldn't you expect that? What professional burglar wouldn't wear gloves?
Which
I
thought as much. It was worth a try.
Apparemment le voleur a effacé ses empreintes. Bon, on n'a plus rien à faire ici, je pense, donc je vais
Goodbye,
sortir.
Professor.
Goodbye.
On va retourner par là, faire notre rapport à l'inspecteur.
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago.
Et là, ça devait être le voleur, je suis sûr qu'on a croisé. Alors, je vais aller là-bas. Voilà, on va s'arrêter ici pour cet épisode. Et on fera notre compte rendu à l'inspecteur Legrand, alias Jean-Luc Delarue, la prochaine fois. Allez, sur ce, prenez soin de vous et à très bientôt. Ciao, bye.